Oriah, I've got a little thing to share with you. You're the only poet that I have been privileged and honored to collaborate with, unbeknownst to you. It's a long story. I went through years of toil like you did. I came out examining myself like you did. It's easier in a way to point at others to find myself like you did. Unlike you, I was with a men's group. And in that men's group in the mid-90s, about the time you wrote, not too long after you wrote, I've changed the name. I now call it Resumé, Invitation, sorry. Not too long after you wrote that, I came across it. I don't remember how, somehow online, I guess. I was with a group of poets in our men's group. We were tuned into Robert Bly and a few others. And that spoke to me so much, and I had you figured like so many others as for a chieftain of some kind, of some sort of Native American heritage, Definitely male, no question about it. And here you are, an attractive young woman who was just tuned in. Well, over the years, I played with that poem because it spoke to me. It was me coming back. I wasn't pointing to another. And so I changed the name after a while to Resumé. It's my resume, what I wished for myself, even though I addressed it in the second person. This video of Resumé or invitation, your invitation, this collaboration between us, illegal as hell, I have to point out, is private. I'm sharing with you now privately on YouTube, just as a gift. I'm not asking for anything, but I have to let you know, people in my writers group these days have advised me, have encouraged me to get back to you with it. They were so touched by it. And to get back to you and let you know how it's moved me and it's moving them. And I'm supposing that I'm not the only one to jump in on invitation and add to it and maybe play with it a bit in my own life. So I give this to you as a gift, and if someday you think it's appropriate to put on public, fine, but I'm not asking for that. This is for you, Oriah, Mountain Dreamer, a wonderful woman with a great heart and insight. Thanks. Resumé. Adapted and extended from Invitation by Oriah, Mountain Dreamer. It doesn't interest me who you suppose you are or how come you here. I want to know if you're making sense of this world you find yourself in, so you can stand in the center of the fire with me and not shrink back. I want to know that nothing I do or even imagine will send you packing. I want to know that nothing I do is expected while everything is welcome. I want to know that you occupy the place where you stand. Doesn't interest me what you do for a living. Are you living? I want to know what you ache for, and if you dare dream of meeting your heart's longing. I want to know what you're made of. Can you fly? How high? It only interests me slightly where, what, or with whom you've studied. I want to know what sustains you from inside when all else falls away, and when on the mend, what you find yourself exploring all newly alone. I want to know how you're molding yourself. Who are the mentors you choose for a change? Where do they lead you? It used to interest me mightily what wickets you pass through, especially the ones whose names I could recognize. It's easier now. What tests did you devise? And how you doing? I want to know how you stretch yourself and what you count as success when no one's looking, and which those struggles so easy to cover. Doesn't interest me in the least how you fill the time given you, much less any accounting of it to fill up the space between us. I want to know if you can forget what time it is for a change. I want to know about an engagement so fierce, time's an afterthought, and it wouldn't occur to anyone to keep records, much less use them as weapons against holy silence. Doesn't interest me how old you are. I want to know if you'll risk looking like a fool for love, for your dreams, for this sheer adventure of being alive. I particularly want to know about the boy, the girl. Is he, she a friend? Is he, she alive? Listen, it doesn't interest me what planets are squaring your moon. I want to know if you've touched the center of your own universe. Are you opened by life's betrayals or shriveled up from fear of further pain? I want to know if you can sit with pain, mine and your own, without moving to hide it or fade it, or worse of all, fix it. I want to know if you can take pain's full measure and lessons without shrinking. And then I want to know if you can be with joy, mine and your own. Can you dance with wildness, let ecstasy fill you fingertips to toes, without cautioning us to be careful, realistic, or remember our limitations? It doesn't interest me so much if the story you're telling me is true or not. I want to know if you can disappoint another to be true to yourself. Can you bear the accusation of betrayal and not betray your own soul? I want to know if you can be faithful and therefore trustworthy. I want to know if you can see beauty even when it's not pretty, and if you can source your life from its presence. Doesn't interest me so much to know where you live or how much money you have. Can you get up after a night of grief and despair, weary, bruised to the bone, and do what needs to be done for the children? I want to know about rewards coming to you because you deserve them. I want to know whether you expect the unexpected. I want to know if you believe in magic. Listen, it usually interests me more than it should what you call your maker. Those lessons from memory, the group, the book, those days you call holy. What I want to know all along is, can you love? Which of those teachings are your own by now? And are you grateful? Listen, spare me the preachings as you teach me your faith. It makes me suspicious, those intricate constructs you can build. Maybe they're real. I want to know what connects in your life, what you hold to, what are the lessons, the anchors, what things ring authentic. I want to know if you can be alone with yourself, and if you truly like the company you keep in the empty moments, and whether what you're sharing with me now overflows from those places. After all this, do you need reassuring? It interests me none to establish the upper, nor likewise with some sleight of self to lead you on over me. I want to meet you on that rarest of ground, the one that's level. I guess in short, what I most need to know is, can you live with all manner of disappointment and stuff, mine and your own, and still stand at the edge of a lake with me and shout to the silver of a glowing full moon, yes!